Machi. You also respond by saying the same. Good morning, then you also say good morning. So it's just like you bounce the ball on the wall, then it comes back to you. Machi. Midasi. That is thank you. Midasi. Right, so moving forward, this is Alexander Aseidu-Antwi, holds postgraduate diploma in education, Bachelor of Science, Computer Science, and then has successfully completed my master's degree in information technology. And as I stand here before you, I aspire to be a PhD student candidate. Somewhere around September in 2020, basically in my teaching profession, I started from somewhere. And now I feel that I'm moving to somewhere. Remember that the theme for this presentation is information literacy in education. So all of us here are going to give us their thoughts and ideas of what they understand about information. How you analyze information as a teacher. How you find information as a teacher, and how you digest that information and make it productive. At some point, we could have some form of information that are not true. We are in the digital world. Anything is on the internet. We have good things, we have bad things. How do you embed the two to make it productive in your teaching field? So that's what we are talking about now. The aim, the purpose of this training will be focused on literacy knowledge and also give you a detailed description of skills that serves as the basis for children's emerging ability to understand, to read and write. That is the main important thing that we should look at as a teacher. It doesn't matter you are a social science teacher, you are an English teacher, you are a math teacher. You pose to impart knowledge and make children productive by the information you receive and how you deliberate on that information to make it something productive. So I have this thing that is going around. You take a look and pass it to the next person and have some form of, just look at that picture and think of what they are doing. What do you think those people over there are doing? What do you think they are doing? You had a look about that. What do you think they are doing, those guys in the picture? What do you think those guys there are doing?
They are looking. The other one is taking the phone.
Okay, one at a time. Yes, please.
The other one is taking a phone.
The other one is taking a phone. Fantastic. And then what did you say again?
It's like he's taking a picture.
It's like she's taking a picture. That sounds good. What do you think that act of taking a phone, taking a picture, what do you think that the person is going to use that information for? Is there anybody who can answer that? Supposing, take yourself in context. Supposing you have a phone and there is an activity going on, just like what is going on. We have people here taking cameras and pictures. What do you think they are using that picture for?
Social media.
Fantastic. That is one. I like that. Yes. There are no wrong answers in my class. Just tell us your views, your ideas. What do you think? What do you think? To keep memories. Thank you, my dear. I like that. To keep memories. And so, yes, information literacy forms the basis of lifelong learning. This picture can take about 20 years and you still see it and you say that, oh, during this year, this is what was going on, this is what was happening. That is information. But how do you make good use of it? It's common to all disciplines, to all learning environments, and to all levels of education. Let us look at something here. I take myself as a teacher, and I know that I impart knowledge on children. At least I'm able to achieve something to become literate. Now, if we say information literate, if somebody says they are information literate persons, or you claim yourself to be an information literate person, what do you think of that? If we say you are information literate, I can define literacy or a literate person as, let me tackle from literacy. I can define literacy as being able to read something, to understand it, and to explain to people. Do I make myself clear? To be an information literate person is for you to develop an effective information gathering style. So as a teacher, it may be that you are not prepared or planned for a specific lesson that you are teaching or you are going to teach. Okay? It happens to all of us. At that point, you know that you are not planned. You know that you are not prepared. But you are supposed to teach. How do you impart knowledge on children if you are not informed? No way. Of course, I like that. So as an information literate person, you have to develop an effective information gathering style. Well, it could be that you have nothing to teach because you are not planned, but you have to still teach. So what style, what criteria are you going to use within that time to teach your children? Let's see people who can give ideas on that. Supposing you have not planned, there could be some event that happened your way in the previous days that you know you were so tight, but at this point I have a lesson, I'm not planned. Maybe a meeting even caught you up, family issues caught you up, a problem caught you up, but you still have to go to the class and teach. You are not prepared, you are not planned. Which strategies, which styles, which ways do you take to impart knowledge on the children? Grouping. Okay. You do revision. I like that. I like the way you think. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Asking questions. Fantastic. I like that. I'm the type of a teacher. I try to learn from my children. I just don't go there and impose what I have digested on them. There are so many ways of teaching. There are so many ways of finding information and deliver it. Even if you are not prepared, and you have a phone. Even if you are not prepared and you have a laptop, you can still teach because of we are now in the digital world. Let us introduce these little children into using technology in a good way to impart sort for information and then do their own research on things, their projects. We had a program in Qwaqwa previous couple of days ago, and I was suggesting that teachers, it's about time that we ask our children how they were able to solve problems. You wouldn't believe it, that homework, that project that you gave that child to go home and do it, the home teacher or the tutor will do that work for the child, bring the work to school, you grade that child as if the child did the work by him or herself.
Of course, yes.
That is out of touch. So it's about time teachers must check children's thinking and understanding abilities. That's why we have literacy. If you don't have, you can't give. If you don't understand, you can't explain. How are we as teachers training these young age children in this 21st century? It's the digital world. I remember COVID hit everywhere. In Ghana, we were told to stay home, but as teachers, you still have to teach. You are home, you are not in your class, you are not with your children, you can't touch. But you are home, you need to deliver. It's the use of technology. So what I try to say every time to my fellow teachers is that in this computer-aged world, we must embed education and technology to impart knowledge on these young-aged children. When I was at home during the COVID, whilst we were told to stay home, we were teaching on Google Classroom. Are you familiar with that? Mm-hmm. Yes. Some were using Zooms for their meetings. And this made us aware how the world is trending. But we must use technology as an essential thing in education to improve the quality of education and enhance the learning process of children. In order to not beat time, I'll just make my presentation abrupt. So it's not something that's going to be long. So let's look at something that researchers argue that these technologies shapes what it means to be literate in the 21st century as it continues to impact on how information is communicated and exchanged. There are certain things as teachers we need to be aware of when dealing with children in this age. There should be an awareness of how you engage with them. How you find meaning in the information as a teacher you discover, and as children they also do. There are some children, if they see that their teacher have interest in them, they will tell you everything that's going on, even in their homes, what's going on with their parent, the sibling, the friend, the crush, and all that. Yes. The child has sought for some information. She is finding ways and means to digress on it and progress on it. So as a child, she will tell you everything, but it's up to you as a teacher to use that information to either break the child or make the child. Does it sound familiar?
Yes.
Thank you. So moving on, we also have to be aware of how we can articulate what kind of information we require and how to use information ethically. There is something we call ethics. Ethics. Certain things that you need to do and some things that you need not to do. It is up to you as a teacher to make a balance that will help these young children through teaching them using technology. And how you evaluate information for credibility and authority is also important. Back in Qwaqwa again, there was one professional teacher who made a citation that as a teacher, some children in your class or a child in your class may come to you and report something to you, okay? And then you will call on the child who is in quote in problem with that child that he was reported. And then you will go and call other teachers to come and solve the problem. Do you get the picture? It's like my dear mom who is just coming to sit down, reporting my good gentleman here that he slapped her. You get that? Now I have an information. Somebody is going to be in trouble. Then, based on the information that I have received from her, I'll go and call my friend's teacher. Please come listen to what has happened in my class. Then I'll call the other one too. Come, let's see what this child has done to this child. This is what I'm told. This man is a very bad student. He's been slapping other people. So you stand and judge that based on information that you have received, you are going to punish him because he has slapped my dear lady. Meanwhile, maybe my dear lady is a bully. She wants him to be in trouble. She can tell a lie. So she will do that so that he will get in trouble. Meanwhile, as a professional teacher, you wouldn't also have an alternative to call young man and ask, what really happened? What did you do to her? You don't stand and judge, get this gentleman punished, suspended, or any form of punishment being done unto him. What I'm trying to highlight is that upon any information that you receive as a teacher, you need to verify. You don't just take it and eat. It might be contaminated with germs. It might be a lie. Not every information that you receive is legitimate. So with the use of digital technology, you can find good things, you can find bad things, but it's up to you to take a balance of that information that you have received by verifying before you proceed to your decision making. At this juncture, I would like to also let's try. I'm almost done with my presentation. But I want to know, how many languages do you know? Or how many languages do you need to know to communicate with the rest of the world? This question goes to all of us. How many languages? It is one branch of literacy. I don't fully understand Zulu. I don't fully understand Swahili. I don't fully understand Chinese. But there should be one common language that you need to make you understand, so that you'll be able to communicate and make impact on the children that you are teaching. How many languages do we need? It's just one language. That language that the child understands. It's only one language. So it's up to you as a teacher to bring the best in these children. Why I said that is, for instance, let me cite an example. Let's say we have an international student coming to Lesotho to learn or to study. Let's say we have a student from China who has come down to study. Before that student would be able to understand the language that you use to teach, she has to decode what she understands that language you are speaking to her in her home language. There should be a translation. Now I came here and I understand what is Dumela. The first time I heard that word, I asked my colleague that, what do we say that in English? Because I understand English, I don't understand Dumela. I need to transform from Dumela to English and then to my home language, Mache. You see? So I am trying to transform the information that I have received. And then I'll break it down to a simpler form, the one that I understand best. And then, last but not least, to my home language. Then I'll be able to also explain Dumela. If I go to Ghana and I say Dumela, they would not understand. And before they understand, they'll ask me, how do we say it in Twi or in English, before they could understand Dumela. And also tell others Dumela, and then they will ask, what is the meaning? So this is the world of information literacy. Make children understand. Make children communicate in the language that they understand before they can be able to do that project you have given them. Or before they can be able to do that research you have given them. On that note, I would like to give a very big thank you to my leaders and the organizers, and to you as teachers.
I'm sorry before you finish.
Okay, yes ma'am.
I'm just somehow lost because you said I have to know only one language to communicate with the whole world. How am I going to communicate with the whole world while I'm still not speaking that one language?
That is a very good question, ma'am. I really love the way you think. Like I said, ma'am, please, what language do you speak?
Sesotho.
Okay, Sesotho. You understand it very well.
Yes.
Good. It's one language, isn't it? If there is an English word, before you would understand that English word, you need to translate Siso into English. Siso is the baseline, the foundation. Siso. To.
Yes.
Medasi.
Yes.
That means thank you. Medasi means thank you. So, before you can learn Chinese as a language, there is one language that you understand best in your life. You need to digest the language that you understand. You need that new language, okay, to be transformed, to be explained to you in a way that you would understand best. And that is the basic language that you understand.
Okay, of course. And then the problem is somehow, yes, maybe we have to change that.
Yes.
You will find that I'm a primary school teacher.
Yes, ma'am.
Whenever I was teaching, then I will be so rebuked that why are you speaking to children in Lesotho? I have to speak to them. Mind you, the language, I'm a second language speaker, and I was supposed to speak in my second language, which I don't master at all. And then I try to explain, and I wouldn't be understood at times.
Oh, yes. Okay, ma'am, there is a solution to that. And that's why we are here. To share ideas. For us, it is something that we all have to come on to one understanding. If you have, for example, an English as a second language student, as a teacher, I'm talking of ESL, English as a second language. Do we have people having that specialty in our schools? We do have that in Ghana. And then also we have special education needs for children who are not able to cooperate and that might need assistance in their learning. So with in that respect, taking that of English as a second language. Now, we can change the word English to your home languages.
Sesotho.
Sesotho as a second language. So, before you can understand a different language, you need to understand that your home language. So that if you are told any different language, you would be able to digest in your understanding. You would be able to tell in your understanding in your language what you need to do about that information you are receiving. If, for example, if I have a child who is an English as a second language student, ESL student, for example, like I said, a student from China, or let's say a student from Japan, they are not actually fluent, or they are not actually fed more with any other different language. What they know is their Japanese or the local language that they speak. If that child comes to your school, he or she is a Japanese or a Chinese, how are you going to use that your language that you understand to transform that child in teaching? That is what we are talking about. And that is the skill that you need to absorb. Right? So, ma'am, if you have any child who needs a special, like for example, the English as a second language, and you want that child to understand what you are teaching based on the question you posed on me, there are so many ways of doing that, but in my own specialty, you need to get the child to start saying the basic words in your language, like come, go, get, like what I'm learning, good morning, dumela, those basic words. Transform that in English.
Yes,
and then the child is familiar with English. He or she will use that word that she understands in English to transform that English word to his or her Japanese language. Then she understands better